you ever discovered a detail at a theme park and thought, there's gotta be a story behind that? Well, you've come to the right place. We're Amanda, Kevin, and Kim, the team behind Where in the Park, and we've spent years exploring theme parks and creating seek and find games that uncover the details that most people miss. And now we're diving into the history, stories, and secrets behind those magical details. So grab your curiosity, and maybe even a churro, and let's explore the parks together, one detail at a time. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Where in the Park podcast. This is Amanda, and on this episode, we're exploring a tiny detail at Disney popcorn carts that most people miss. And once you notice them, you'll never unsee them. In fact, I'm willing to bet that you'll be on the lookout for them the next time you visit. Speaking of your next visit, before we get started, let's take a second and check our theme park bag. Does it include a self-paced seek and find game from whereinthepark.com? If not, then you are missing out on an amazing adventure of discovery. With a Where in the Park game, you'll explore parks in a whole new way and discover a deeper appreciation for the theming and immersive experience that make theme parks so magical. We have 68 images to find at each Disney park in the US, plus games for Universal, SeaWorld, Six Flags, and so much more. So head on over to whereinthepark.com and use code PODCAST10 to take 10% off your next adventure. While you're on the website, click over to the podcast page to check out our blog that accompanies this episode, along with the photos of things that we're talking about today. You can also check out our private Facebook group, Where in the Park Explorers, to share your own photos and stories and come hang out with other theme park enthusiasts like yourself. And especially with this episode, we need your help and firsthand accounts of Disney parks past and present. So click the link in the show notes, join our Facebook group. You're going to answer a couple of quick questions, and then we'll approve you to join in on the fun. All right, now let's get started. If you have ever stopped for popcorn at Disneyland, or even just walked by a popcorn cart there, you've probably noticed the smell first, right? Then maybe the sound of kernels popping, and maybe if you've slowed down just a little, you've noticed them. Tiny figures inside the popcorn carts near the register. The ones doing the hard work of turning the popcorn drum day after day, hour after hour. These guys are known today as Roastie Toasties, though their name has evolved over time. The main inspiration for this episode is because January 19th is National Popcorn Day, and this episode, if you are listening when it first airs, is on January 16th, and like so many of our episode topics, we start with a question, what's the story behind that? So today we are diving into where Roastie Toasties come from, how far back their history goes, and where you can find some of them across Disney parks around the world. So popcorn feels like a modern snack, right? We see them all the time at movies, theme parks, and sporting events. But popcorn itself is ancient. Long before popcorn carts were invented, people were popping corn in what is now Central and South America. Archaeological evidence shows popcorn-style corn being consumed thousands of years ago. Corn kernels have been found in Peru dating back several millennia, and indigenous cultures across the Americas were popping corn long before Europeans arrived. So popcorn isn't new. What is new, relatively speaking, is popcorn as a public experience. In the 1880s, an Ohio man named Charles Creeders moved to Chicago. He invented a revolutionary steam-powered peanut roaster that was reliable and consistent. Yes, I said peanut roaster in a popcorn episode, but hear me out. Peanuts must be slowly roasted and constantly moving or they'll burn. So his machine involved a large rotating drum that was heated underneath for even heat distribution. To capture the attention of those passing by, he added a steam-powered clown who stirred the peanuts in a glass tumbler. This clown was called a Tosty Rosty Man, but I will note here that Toasty and Roasty do not have an A in either word. Side notes for those doing additional research here, in publications such as antique resale listings, blogs, or historical documentation, you'll find Tosty Rosties with A's in both words, and this appears to just be a phonetic modernization, not a formally documented name change. So if I missed something on that, let me know in our Facebook group, Where in the Park Explorers, or DM me at Where in the Park. Anyway, Cretors would file a peddler's license for his new machine in December of 1885, and he started selling peanuts in front of his shop. Thus started the beginning of C. Cretors and Company. With the help of a traveling salesman named J.M. Savage, word got around pretty quickly. The early 1890s saw a turning point in growing demand for popcorn over peanuts, so Cretors added a built-in popcorn popper to one of his peanut roasting machines. Still using that same steam-powered mechanics, the kernels were automatically stirred in a kettle and mixed with seasonings and butter. He was granted a patent for his upgraded popper in 1893. Now he just needed to get it in front of more people. Well, luckily for him and for us, the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago happened that same year, bringing in millions from around the world to see the latest in American innovation. By 1897, the design shifted to a more wagon-type look with wheels to easily move to more populated locations like parks and fairs. As we know from the Carousel of Progress, at the turn of the 20th century, this new thing called electricity entered the market, and in 1907, Cretors filed and received the patent to convert the steam-powered equipment to run on electric motors. In 1909, they changed the game again by converting the wagon into a gas-powered engine, called the automobile wagon. The menu was also expanded to include candy, soda, and of course, peanuts and popcorn, becoming the very first food truck. 1910 saw the first electric-powered Model 3 peanut roaster and corn popper, which is still in use today. 1913 also saw the introduction of horse-drawn expanded wagons. Be sure to check out the photos of these iterations on our blog for this episode at whereinthepark.com/podcast. They are a lot of fun to see how the designs have changed over the years, so I think you'll get a kick out of that. Throughout the decades, in every single iteration of these roasters, including the ones in the automobile wagons, sits a version of the Tosty Rosty Man, dutifully turning the drum of peanuts. They were more than just a decoration. On many early Cretors machines, the Tosty Rosty Man was positioned so it looked like they were physically turning the rotating drum or actively working the machines. Even though the motion was powered mechanically, the figure created an impression that a person was supervising the roast. And that mattered, especially for peanuts, because customers couldn't easily tell if they were done, undercooked, or burnt. The Tosty Rosty Man helped build that trust. It suggested care, attention, craftsmanship, and turning what could have felt like an industrial process into something personal and reassuring. It wasn't just a machine that worked. It was a machine that performed. All right, so what does this have to do with Disney? Well, a number of things. First, Walt Disney was born in Chicago in 1901. The family moved to Marceline in 1906 and then over time moved back to Chicago in 1917. A simple Google Maps search of Walt's birthplace home, which is a historical landmark at 2156 North Tripp Avenue, is actually only 8.8 miles away from the C. Cretors and Company headquarters on 620 West Kermack Road, where they were for 76 years. So while Cretors is no longer at this location, Walt Disney would have been right in the midst of Cretors machines as they spread across Chicago and beyond. It would have been part of his childhood. And that idea that these wagons brought to consumers with its kinetics, visibility, and human presence make food feel more trustworthy and rooted in 1900s America, that is exactly why this detail carried forward into Disney parks since opening day in 1955, especially on Main Street, USA, which is a fantasized snapshot of a hometown in the early 1900s. Today, Tosty Rosty Men are more commonly referred to as Roastie Toasties. While they aren't actually powering the machines today, they're doing the same job their predecessors did over a century ago. They turn the drum of popcorn, they humanize the machine, they add charm, and they quietly reinforce the feeling that even something as simple as popcorn is being made with intention. And we know Disney parks are always about storytelling, and these carts are no different. In fact, the carts are specifically themed to match the land they're in, complete with their corresponding Tosty Rosty Man. But we'll go over who they are in just a minute. So while the storytelling of the popcorn carts hasn't changed, what has changed is the brand of popcorn used. In Disneyland's early decades, from what we could gather, popcorn was sold without a heavily emphasized national brand presence in the park. The experience focused more on the cart itself, the smell, and the show. By the 1970s, Disneyland's popcorn kernels were changed from the Creators brand to Manly brand. Also, by about 1971, McGlashan Enterprises, which is a division of Buena Vista Distribution Co., Inc., had designed and was manufacturing a line of custom-crafted popcorn wagons for Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Interesting side note there, this is the same company that manufactured and designed air cannons, lead shot, and plastic ammunition in addition to the shooting galleries and air rifles for Disneyland. Anyway, on February 12, 1977, Orville Redenbacher became the official sponsor of Disney popcorn for both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. A ceremony was held on Main Street at Disneyland, which included a parade led by the Disneyland Band and Disney characters. Orville and his wife Mina were also part of the parade, which went from Town Square up to the Hub. Orville gave a speech at the popcorn wagon at the Hub and named Mickey and Minnie as honorary colonels. He then passed out free samples of popcorn to those in attendance. Cast members working at the popcorn carts during this time wore special pins that read, quote, "Serving Orville Redenbacher's gourmet popping corn." And the cart featured bronze signage advertising the brand as well. Orville Redenbacher would be the official sponsor from 1977 to 2015, when Pop Secret became the new sponsor. On September 15th, 2015, Pop Secret was announced as the official sponsor of Fantasmic at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Many of the popcorn carts would also feature the signage with the brand's logo. However, shortly after the partnership started, Pop Secret changed ownership from Diamond Foods to Snyder's Lance in 2016, to Campbell Soup Company in 2018, and now Our Home in 2024. These changes impacted the long-term sponsorship with Disney, though we could not find the official confirmation of when the partnership ended. As of today, Disney no longer has an official freshly popped popcorn sponsor. But here's the thing. Even though the branding has changed, the Roastie Toasties have always been part of the story. The characters may have changed over the years, but they are very much still there. So let's go to each Disney park with a Roastie Toastie and see who we can find. Let's start at Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. Just know that some of these do change seasonally, and again, we are recording in January, which is near the tail end of the holiday season. Anyway, when we went to the Disneyland Resort last week, we saw the following Roastie Toasties. First, on Main Street, USA, near the Town Square in City Hall, you'll find a dapper Dan with a mustache, wearing a blue pinstriped pair of pants, a red vest over a white shirt, and a straw hat with a matching blue sash. In the hub by the partner statue on the other end of Main Street is a clown in a white outfit with red polka dots, with red frill around the hands, feet, and neck, and a red and yellow hat. In Frontierland, across from the Golden Horseshoe, is a frontiersman wearing tan felt-like pants and a matching jacket that has 4 buttons and is snugly fitted around his neck. He also has dark gloves and matching knee-high boots and a large coonskin cap. Apparently, he is quite cold. In New Orleans Square, in front of the train station, is an Oogie Boogie Roastie Toastie. He is super cute. You can also find the Undertaker here, who is a gauntly-looking man in a black tuxedo and a top hat. Over in Toontown, you'll find a train conductor at the cart between Chip 'n Dale's Gadget Go coaster and Mickey's house. He's wearing a blue conductor's outfit with a yellow shirt and a red bow tie. He also has a blue conductor's hat with a red sash and a gold plate. Also in Toontown, head on over to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. While in line, you'll pass by a concession stand with treats with fun names and hidden Easter eggs, which would totally be an entire episode in and of itself. But on the back wall is a popcorn machine with a special effect showing popcorn being freshly popped. And be sure to take a closer look at the popcorn to see some familiar shapes. This popcorn machine also has a Tosty Rosty that is actively turning the drum. She is a mouse-like character, but not one that we recognize. She is dressed in the same outfit as the cast members in this first half of the line. Red pants, light blue shirt with a yellow vest, and black buttons with a black bow tie. Her facial features remind us of Minnie, but she has bright red hair and smaller ears. Perhaps she's a distant cousin. If you know her name, definitely let us know because I would love to know that. Leaving Toontown near the Fantasyland Theater and It's a Small World gift shop, you'll find another Tosty Rosty clown. This one is wearing a very detailed costume, half of a blue satin material and half in red sequins, with white frill around the hands, feet, and neck, and a blue and red hat with different colored polka dots. Along the parade route near the Matterhorn, you'll find a large white Yeti character turning the drum with a bluish face and glowing red eyes. He resembles the Yeti you'll find in the Matterhorn. And over in Tomorrowland, across from Star Traders, you'll find a female astronaut in her spacesuit and helmet with her eyes closed for some reason. Not sure what that's about. What's also unique about this cart is that the machine that spins as she's turning the drum has some parts replaced to resemble the sun and planets. Again, check out our blog over at whereinthepark.com/podcast to see our photos of all of these. All right, moving across the Esplanade to Disney California Adventure, you'll find two Roastie Toasties. One is located at Pixar Pier to the right of Pixar Pal-Around. There you'll find Duke Kaboom from Toy Story 4 turning the drum, complete with his white outfit and red Daredevil suit and a red Canada maple leaf on his belt buckle and cape. The other one is at Grizzly Peak toward the back of the line for Soarin' before rounding the corner to Grizzly River Run. There you'll find an airplane propeller turning the drum. Now, I would argue that this is not an official Roastie Toasty, as it is not a character that is, quote, hand cranking the drum. But the drum is still there, and it is themed to the area. So, in my mind, if they switch it to an airplane pilot, then it'll get an official vote from me. But for now, definitely an honorable mention. We also have some past Roasties who are no longer at the park, but we wanted to mention anyway. We have Santa that is at the popcorn cart in the hub. We also had a Rocketeer in Tomorrowland, and there have been various clowns and Dapper Dans in different color outfits along Main Street. In doing this research, we were surprised to learn that the cart between Elias & Co. and Carthay Circle Restaurant actually did not have a Roastie Toasty. We thought for sure it did. In fact, there are several popcorn vending locations around the Disneyland Resort that do not have one. I was also surprised to find absolutely no mention of Roasties anywhere at Walt Disney World. Sure, they have popcorn, but from what I could tell, their carts do not have Roastie Toasties on them. Again, if you have any information on this as to why this is, or to show a cart that has one, definitely let us know, because we've looked through all of our photos and we did not see any. So now let's go overseas and see who else we can find. But again, just a disclaimer, we have not been to these overseas parks with popcorn in mind. And some of these resources that we found for this episode were older photos. So if I missed any of your favorite characters, or if you know any that have been added or removed from the parks, definitely let me know over at Where in the Park Explorers Facebook group. All right, so first up is Tokyo Disneyland, where they have popcorn wagons, some of which have versions of Roastie Toasties, such as a clown with a Christmas scarf and hat over at the soy sauce and buttered flavored wagons in front of Cafe Orleans. We also found him represented over at the chocolate popcorn wagon, but the one over at Cafe Orleans is replaced with a clown with a white outfit with red polka dots and frill. I mentioned him earlier in Disneyland. He's also at Tokyo Disneyland. You will also find him at the caramel popcorn wagon in front of Sweetheart Cafe. You'll find Winnie the Pooh and Piglet at the honey popcorn wagon in front of Pooh's Honey Hunt. Big Al from Country Bear Jamboree will be at the curry popcorn wagon next to the trading post. Then over at Toon Pop, you'll find Goofy in a workout outfit with an oversized orange and yellow shirt, blue shorts, knee-high yellow socks, and a green headband. He's super cute. And then over in front of Cowboy Cookhouse, you'll find Pecos Bill with his horse Widowmaker. Tokyo Disneyland also sold miniature figurines of Roastie Toasties in a mystery gift box set, which included the clown that I mentioned earlier, Henry and Oscar from Country Bear Jamboree, as well as Big Al, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet with the honey pot, a bird from the Enchanted Tiki Room, and Goofy in his workout outfit. Disneyland Paris has what they call popcorn animated dolls. While they've had these dolls for some time, Disney unveiled new ones just last year in 2015, including Mr. Toad near Toad Hall Restaurant, Casey, inspired by Casey's Corner, located to the left of Central Plaza, a Gibson Girl-inspired doll on the right side of Central Plaza, Willie the Giant near Storybook Land entrance, Panchito near Big Thunder Mountain, and Lady Liberty on Main Street in Town Square. Over at Hong Kong Disneyland, you'll find a large brown bear at Grizzly Gulch, and either an astronaut or an alien at the popcorn cart outside of Space Mountain. The image that we found was too grainy to tell, so if you know, let me know. Also, there's a Dapper Dan with a red and white suit at the popcorn cart to the left of the hub, and a clown at the cart along the walkway between Space Mountain and It's a Small World. But in going around the parks and really looking closely at these characters, one thing stood out to me. Someone is actually responsible for designing these costumes. From the hand-painted faces to the tiny jackets and sewn-on sequins, all designed to move constantly each and every day. So we were delighted to find a video of one of the cast members giving us a behind-the-scenes look at this process. We'll have it linked on our blog, whereinthepark.com/podcast, so be sure to check it out and share your appreciation for the hard work put into such tiny yet important details. So the next time you grab popcorn at a Disney park, just pause for a moment. Look inside the cart, see who's turning the drum, and remember, this tiny figure exists because Disney believes even popcorn is part of the story. And honestly, that's why we love these parks so much, and why we love exploring these details with you. There is just so much more to explore. If you're ready to go on more detailed deep dives with us, be sure to subscribe so you get notified when new episodes drop. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to leave a 5-star rating, and if you have 30 seconds, please leave us a written review. It not only tells Apple, Spotify, and all the other players that we're doing something special and different, but honestly, it means the world to us. Countless hours of research go into each episode, so to know that you're getting something out of it too, and seeing the parks in a new light like we do, there's just nothing better than that. So thank you so much for listening, and until next time, we'll see you somewhere in the park. Bye for now. Thanks for exploring with us today. If you're ready to take your park experience to the next level, check out Where in the Park Games. They're self-paced, seek-and-find adventures designed for you to experience the park in a whole new way. Whether you're visiting for a birthday, a family gathering, date night, or even a solo trip, you'll be searching up high and down low for the details found in the park's theming. Get ready to discover a deeper appreciation for your favorite theme park with a Where in the Park game, and take 10% off your next adventure by using code PODCAST10. Which park will you explore next? Until then, we'll see you somewhere in the park.